All right. Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. What a wild race yesterday. Um, as I tweet this out, let me tell you about my perspective on the finish because there was a lot that happened there at the end of this race. And so I was in the pits, trying to get some photos for the checkered flag, trying to get pictures of the burnout and all that. And the start finish line, empty pit stall had been taken up, so I went a little bit further down to the Bell Reddick pit stall, closer to turn one, and there was no TV by me. No TV. So 2 laps to go comes by. They do the restart. I can kind of hear the radio over the speakers. And then all of a sudden, the white flag comes and Bubba's leading. And then you got Briscoe, Hamlin, Bell 3 wide. We're going to look at these pictures here in a minute. Here at the end of the show. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, Denny had that big run off of 4. So I'm thinking it's going to be Denny versus Bubba coming off of 4 for the win. And then all of a sudden, you look off of turn 4 to see what's actually happening. And as I said, I didn't have a TV. And Chase Elliott comes out in the lead, and I was so confused. I was like, where in the world did this guy come from? Because I was trying to remember what I saw. And it was Bubba won, Hamlin, Briscoe, Bell, and I don't even remember seeing Elliott. So I was extremely confused for the first 15 minutes after that race ended. So that was my perspective on the finish. Had no idea where Chase Elliott came from initially. And then obviously, watching the replays and everything, it made sense. The whole Bubba Denny thing. And then, down the back stretch or the lap before when Bubba kind of ran Bell up and then, Briscoe got involved in there. Like, there was so much happening on that last lap and a half, really.
And it was a lot to process. And if you didn't see it live, you were really confused as I said, no TV, couldn't see the majority of the track, and all of a sudden, coming off of forward, Chase Elliott's leading. Anywho, that's my story today. George, Pastel Ninja K, Lindsay, and Mark, hello. Welcome. It's Kansas. Yes, Kansas. New hat. I like it. So, what? Huh? What is this thing? It gave me a little notification. I thought I missed something, but no. Speaking of, I want to run a poll during a. Hello, Micah. I want to run a poll at the beginning of the stream. I'm very curious. Which was more impressive? In your opinion, which of these was more impressive? I'm not even going to say it out loud. I just want to see what you guys think. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. Hello, David. Welcome. Hey, congratulations on getting your Monday pick right. I got mine right in Xfinity. Cup, not so much, but Xfinity, Brandon Jones. I think I was the only one to pick that one, so I'll take it. Hold on, I'm making a poll, guys, and you don't have a lot of characters to actually do the full thing, so all right, I think I did that as evenly as possible. I want to see what the vote is. Let's hear what the people have to say on this question I asked. I'm very curious. I am genuinely curious to what people are going to say at this. Okay. Hilton, hello. Yeah, thank you. I always enjoy being at the track. Thanks to Bob, Go Full Throttle. I do some written work for Bob Francis and Go Full Throttle. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out.
I will put the link in the chat so you guys can go read that. But yeah, I mean, he's really helped me out in the last couple of months here. Got to go to a few races at the beginning of the year by myself, and then Bob's helped me out get into a few more races. So yeah, I did a write-up on SVG's top 10 since it was his first top 10. We both kind of collaborated on the race recap, and here we go. So if you're interested in written stuff as opposed to the video and live stream stuff, there you go. It's right there. So oh no, the Rangers just got rid of their manager, Bruce Bochy. He won the World Series. Oh well. It's sad. I'll always be thankful for the World Series. Anyways, back to NASCAR. But yes, Hilton, and back to the original thing. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the nice words. But yeah, anytime, it's an honor anytime to get to cover a NASCAR race like Kansas, Bristol, Darlington, Talladega, Vegas, wherever it is, like it's a complete honor. So to be allowed that access, to be entrusted with that, and to get that access and to take the full advantage of it, to try to talk to drivers, talk to team members, like find a story somewhere in there. It's always a great honor. So I'm glad you appreciate it. And it'd be nice to have some sponsors. It'd be nice. I'll say that much. Micah says, I don't think anyone did anything wrong on that last lap. Everyone was using everyone up. It's just drivers going all out for the win. Hell of a race. Micah, honestly, I agree. There's been a lot of internet discussion and really just around NASCAR discussion about that last lap, really the last two, because it all started when Bubba, heading into 3 and 4, I say ran Bell up the racetrack, but not really egregious, not really even bad at all if you ask me. Bell just had to lift out of the gas, and that looked like a typical 3 and 4 at a mile and a half in this car. Remember what caused the intentional wreck that Bubba got suspended for, that Elliott got suspended for? Almost that exact same situation, just Bell bailed because he didn't want to hit the wall or get wrecked, whatever it was. It was kind of similar, if you understand what I'm saying. And then coming around 3 and 4, Denny ships it in there trying to win the race. Like last week, there was all this talk about, that's the ultimate irony, all this talk about teammates, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, Toyota teammates. This week, the Toyota teammates essentially take each other out, and they don't even win the race. And before we get back to the Denny Bubba thing, can we talk about, like, people are talking about, oh, Denny choked it, he threw it away, and I would say that the power steering, surely that impacted him somehow, some way, but Toyota threw that race away. They choked it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 5 of the top 10, not 5 of the top 8. They were first, second, third, fourth, and fifth on that final restart. They were first, second, third, and fourth taking the white flag. They were first, second, third heading down the backstretch with half a lap to go. They did not win the race. If that happens at Talladega, you can carve that up to, oh, it's Talladega, it's a super speedway, there's a wreck, big runs happen, people scatter, like, it's Talladega. This was Kansas. A mile and a half, and yes, runs are huge. There's a lot of momentum, running the top versus the bottom, slide jobs, all that stuff plays into a factor, but Toyota, 1, 2, 3, 4 taking the white flag. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3 on the backstretch, and they lose? And this is after, look at the numbers. Hamlin leads 159 laps. Bell, 43. Briscoe, 19. Bubba, 13. Reddick did not lead any. Okay. My bad on that. I think that's all for Toyota. They led, it's time for some math. 159 plus 43, that's 202. Someone correct me if my math sucks. 202 plus 19 is 221. 221 plus 13 is 234. That's it. They led 235 if we count Nemechek's. They led 235 out of 274, 273. they lost. I mean, don't get me wrong. What Chase Elliott did was extremely impressive. Throwing it down in there, him and Denny made a little bit of contact as to who it was. Denny came down a little bit. Chase went up a little bit. Elliott drove a heck of a finish there. Great job. But ultimately, as I said, Toyota threw this away. This was 1, 2, 3, 4 on the white flag. 1, 2, 3 on the backstretch. I can't believe they threw that away. Jamie, the lifelong Logano fan, how are you feeling at plus 13 heading into the Roval? Shopping with Mrs. Mac and Frank says the Giz top 10. Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen. He finally did it. We're going to do an SVG recap here in a bit. But yeah, it took him, I think the number was 34 Oval Cup Series races before getting that first top 10. And who would have thought Kansas, and who would have thought the situation? I mean, not only did he drop to the rear, he had to serve a stop-and-go penalty. He had to do it without his crew chief. A lap down for the entire first stage. Didn't get their lap back to the beginning of the second stage. I don't know how. Somehow, some way. What a wild way to get your first Oval top 10. As I said, we'll break that down here in a minute. Hello, Steve. Aussie here. Really looking forward to your SVG breakdown. How much was track, car, pit crew strategy, and of course, driver? That's a good question. We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, Kansas is an intermediate track, so no restrictor plate. It's not a short oval. It's an intermediate, so it's kind of in between. So Talladega is our biggest oval at 2.66 miles. Kansas is 1.5 miles, and then our shortest oval is Martinsville at a 0.5 mile. Martinsville and Bristol are both 0.5 miles. I think one of them's like 0.525. The other one's like 0.533 or something. So Kansas is in the middle. High-speed racetrack, but you do have to lift. You do have to brake. It takes a little bit more driving ability. But it also takes a really good car. Like, if you put Kyle Larson in the Rick Ware racing car, he's not going to do what he did in the spring at Kansas. So I hope that helps. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. Yeah, Mark, that has been a topic of discussion with the last lap. So Denny throws it down in there in 3 and 4 on Bubba. And you also have to factor in that he didn't have power steering. It was going in and out, his power steering. So my biggest question would be, like, how was the power steering at that point? Not just in the race, but at that exact point when he threw it down in there to 3 and 4. Like, did it start to lock up on him and he couldn't turn it as much as he wanted to? Was he trying to hook the bottom? Was he trying to pull a slide job and the steering just gave out too quickly before he could execute the move? Like, Denny Hamlin, I feel bad for him a little bit because he dominates this race. They do everything right. They got the fastest lap, but they have a little bit of a slow pit stop on that final stop. In that, they still finished second. They're still in a really good point spot. But in terms of the win, that kind of derailed their day, it felt like. Because suddenly he had to battle back from 6th or 7th or whatever he was on the restart. Then he had to go and pass in all these cars. He has a shot at taking the lead. And when he does, him and Bubba, he runs Bubba up the track. Bubba hits the wall. Then all of a sudden he's got to turn down to block Elliott. He's too late. They just handed the win to Chase Elliott. So it sucks because, and let me tell you, Denny Hamlin, as I said, before that final pit stop, they were almost perfect all day. They swept the stages, fastest lap, but Denny Hamlin's restarts were on point. Like, I feel like the next gen car, we see restarts, and for the most part, you stay side by side for at least a bit. Like, at least tilt towards one, and then someone might rocket off into turn 1 and pull away with the lead. Denny Hamlin was like clear of the lead by the end of pit road on most of the restarts. He was the control car, it felt like. Like, Denny Hamlin was launching perfectly. He was executing restarts perfectly. He was leading all these laps. He swept the stages. But as I said, one little tiny mistake on pit road, ends up costing him. If Denny just has an average pit stop there, an average 2-tire pit stop there, and they get control of that race, no one's catching him. No one's taking. Even if Elliott with fresh tires gets to second with half a lap to go, I don't know if Elliott gets there. So that's a hypothetical that we'll never know the answer to, but I don't know. I just felt like bringing up that point. So, yeah. Okay. Do we want to do fantasy right now? Yeah, I saw there was a tie for the win. I didn't see who it was. This was my lineup. Nailed that pick. Missed that pick. Hey, scooted by with that one, and, well, oof. So, let's look at the race results. Micah, MLB 15, and Jamie, the lifelong Logano fan, with the tie. So, the question is, Jamie and Micah, if you're both still here, I have a question for you. Would you like to split the victory, keep both of the wins, you both get a win to your name, or would you like me to flip a coin to see who wins? I got a coin here if you want me to. I mean, it's not going to change the point standings or anything, but just like, hey, if you want a coin flip, you got the option here. But as we go through the rest of the top 10, Dunkin' Donuts 3rd, RT Racing 4th, Matt Smith 53 5th, Hell on Wheels 24 6th, Zerkman 95. Hey, I got a top 10. I'll take it. Klaus Van Gissenbergen in 9th. Dan the Jets fan, that's our defending champion, 10th. When we come over here to the league standings, Dunkin' Donuts is the leader. Klaus Van Gissenbergen is second, 200-point lead. Dunkin' Donuts looking like a heavy favorite for the championship at this point. Zerkman95, expat _ Kiwi _ Mike _ Wallace. Dan the Jets fan, our defending champion. RT Racing, Aussie Matt Smith 53, Tyler Hernandez 6, and Fantastic Priest. They're tied for 9th right now. That's interesting. Micah MLB 15, our co-winner. Jamie said to share the win. Okay, share the win. Unless Micah wants to veto, and then we can flip a coin to see if the coin flip will happen. I'm 12th. Lost a little bit of ground on Micah. Hell on Wheels 24, Oscar Dave, Zero Apex, Crackler, Dr. Zero, Jamie, the lifelong Logano fan. Jamie, where were you in the points prior to this race? I feel like you jumped up quite a bit. David Jerry 24 fan, Nee, Sportswagen, Tritech, Supercar, Nut, Space Wrangler Racing, Premexel. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. JTF526, Connor W, and Rebutted, and these people who have not filled out their entries. Oh, Micah says flip a coin. Okay. All right. So Micah, this is a this is a coin flip. Since Jamie said share and you said flip a coin, heads means we do a coin flip. All right. Uh-oh. It's tails. So you guys got to share the win. You're sharing the win. Congratulations. It's just like the Packers-Cowboys. You're both winners. Actually, this is a little bit more of a bigger sample size, so you guys both actually won. The Cowboys and Packers are both losers in my book. Yeah. Anywho, we don't need to get into that debate today. Let's go back up to the comments because I'm getting far behind. Welcome, everyone. Hello, everyone. If you're new here, if you're... Yeah, we'll get to you in a minute. We're going to talk about everything from Kansas. By the end of this live stream, we will get to picture time. Picture time is where we look through the photos throughout the weekend that I have on my computer after I took on the camera. And we're going to look at them. I have not gone through all of them, so I cannot guarantee that they're all good. And some of them are going to be rough, I will admit. But, hey, there might be a couple good ones in there. So we will look at those at some point near the end of the stream. But until then, we're going to continue talking about Kansas weekend. We'll do the SVG recap somewhere in here. We already did fantasy. This is like the earliest we talked about fantasy. And then, of course, we will have our Monday picks. Micah says, great weekend for me. My second favorite driver won, and I won in the fantasy league after heartbreak last week. Well, Micah, now you're the co-winner. I guess you were always the co-winner because we never really changed it. NATO YT, hello. Let's see here. Micah says, love or hate Denny, but him toughing it out, nearly winning the race with a power steeringless car takes a lot of guts. Agreed. I mean, Denny's an all-time great. Once again, I don't know. Chase Elliott talked about it post-race, but how much power steering, like, did he not have? Because it's kind of hard to judge how hard you can drive and how much you can turn. And, like, when you're breaking down that last lap incident in itself, like, was he at a quarter power steering? Was it going in and out? Was it fully gone? Like, that's a valid question, I would say. Hello, Andrew. Andrew says, I'm from New Zealand and have been following SVG through his career. Well, now he's over here in the US of A. NASCAR legend. Just randomly scrolled away. No. Zero Apex, hello. When cars were battling, the car on the middle lane seemed to take off like a rocket, leaving the car on the fence in its wake. Is that airflow breaking down, different braking points, banking? It's a good question. So Kansas does have progressive banking where it like progressively gets more banked. So it's a multi-groove track. You can run all the way down at the bottom on the white line. You can rip the fence. You can run the middle, as you said. But yeah, so it depends on like how the car, like if they're lined up, like if a car is directly behind another in any way, shape, or form. So like if they're directly behind like this, if the second car is a little bit off kilter like this, like the current generation of car, like the air just messes up. But if you're able to get your own lane, get some clean air, pull side by side, that's when the racing gets really good. But when you're directly behind someone, it's really difficult, if that makes sense. But yeah, so when you send it down deep into the corner, like down to the white line, I'm pretty sure you brake a little bit more. And then when you run the top, you got all that momentum. You just rip the fence. And then the middle is a little bit of the middle. I think I explained that right. I hope so. Hey, Zero Apex. Up until like this last 8-week stretch where I've gotten a bunch of top 10s here, I know exactly how you feel. The first 2/3 of the schedule this year in fantasy was awful for me. So, Zero Apex, you can join the club of we'll bounce back next year. Next year is our year. Yeah, we'll be in that club together. Jamie, you moved from 19th to 18th. Hey, progress. NATO YT, no. If we're talking about fantasy, I was not leading ever the points. Maybe after like Daytona and Atlanta, the first 2 races in the season when everything was unpredictable. But no, I've never been leading the points at like a significant part. I won a race a couple weeks ago, but no, never leading the points, unfortunately. Championship bracket update, says Jamie. Yeah, sure. Okay, so here's our playoff bubble. Let's do a bubble breakdown. Okay, so Byron and everyone up, they're good. Barring a lap 1 mechanical failure in Chastain and Bubba running top 5, like, yeah, that's a wrap. So then the question would be, what if someone below the cut line wins? Probably not going to happen. Let's be realistic. It's a road course next week. You all see where this is going. So, no, I would say the best possibility of someone winning would be Reddick. It's possible. I just don't see Shane Van Gisbergen losing a road course, though. I'm not going to pick against it, if we're being brutally honest. Reddick could be the guy, though, but outside of that, Hendrick, sorry, eliminated. Bubba, I don't think he gets enough points. Technically, he could point in, but I'm going to say must win. I don't think he can win. Chastain, I think, could spice it up. He's a better road racer than Logano. So that's where it gets spicy. And then, obviously, if Briscoe has any sort of bad day, that's double spice. So, as I said, Byron on up, they're in. Briscoe just needs to have a solid, decent day. Score stage points in the first 2 stages. Score double-digit stage points, and you're feeling really good. Logano, there's no safety anywhere unless he genuinely runs top 5 on speed all day. And Chastain, make up points, and if you don't get it in the first stage, I guess go for the win. We'll see, but it's all going to come down to qualifying, honestly. because it's so hard to pass at the road courses in this car, and then also just the Roval so awkward. So, like, if Logano qualifies like 27th or something, or if he qualifies like he did this week and qualifies 35th, and Chastain qualifies in the top 10, that's it right there. Like, that's going to take 7 points out because Chastain will stay out and take the stage points. Whereas an SVG, he's going to flip the stage. AJ Allmendinger is going to flip the stage. Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney, unless it's winning the stage and getting a playoff point, they're probably going to flip the stage. So there's 4 spots right there. If Chastain starts 8th, he's up to 4th. That's 7 stage points. All of a sudden, this is now only +6. So qualifying is going to be crucial for the Roval ultimately. Hello, TP. All right. Hey, be safe, please. Unless you're talking about water. Micah says at this point, if I'm Kyle Busch and I don't have any options for another team in the near future, I'm retiring. He's my favorite driver and I can't take this anymore. Yeah, so for like the 20-something straight week for Kyle Busch, we have to do this. Scroll. Okay, I scrolled too far. Scrolled way too far. Did Kyle Busch get a top 20? I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kyle Busch got a top 20. That should be celebrated. Yeah, man. They've thrown it in on this year. I feel like Burnett's leaving. They just ran 33rd at New Hampshire on raw speed. They almost won this race last year, and I don't even remember what they did this year other than cause that last caution that caused all the late race chaos. Yeah, they need this year to end desperately. They need to get that new crew chief. They need a reset. The 8 team needs a hard reset, like desperate. They need something because like Austin Dillon has had, like, this week was a bad week for Austin Dillon, but every once in a while Austin Dillon has some speed and will run like top 15, the win at Richmond. Kyle Busch, outside of the road courses, I can't think of a race where he ran like top 10 on pace. So yeah, they need a reset desperately. Oh my God, David makes a great point. Dude, Zane Smith flipped at Kansas. He did a wall ride with the bottom of his car. Who would have seen that coming? Once again, I did not have a TV where I was standing. It was really hot. And when I heard caution, my first thought was, man, can this race not end? It's really hot out here. And then all of a sudden you hear over the loudspeakers, oh, he's flipping. It's like, wait. Flipping? Who's flipping? And, Zane Smith flipped. Thankfully, he is okay. He was checked and released from the infield care center, but that was actually like a really scary crash. Video game-esque too, because like that's like a video game move where, you know, the AI makes you mad and you literally just drive straight into the wall and you pin them so hard that they end up flipping on their side and they ride the wall like this and then they eventually tumble over. Like I could go on the Wii right now on NASCAR 2011 the game and do that. But this is real life. This just happened like a day ago. Crazy. Zane Smith flipped. He flipped. Who would have thought? Jamie says, was there a driver you had hoped to interview and did you get that opportunity? Good question. I mean, usually I just take what I can get, I would say. Post-race is obviously a given. Pre-race on Saturday, they have a certain amount of drivers that come in. So this weekend it was the playoff drivers. I just bounce around and try to get as many as I can. And if there's a story somewhere, I try to find that story, get the interviews there. So I would say this weekend was a success. I would say I got everything I wanted to. I maximized the weekend, I would say. Good question, Jamie. NATO YT says, I feel like aero wash is a thing in any racing series in the world. I feel like it gets spoken about too much in NASCAR. Yeah, the aerodynamics gets talked about every single week in NASCAR. Dirty air is like the term of the decade. Like, it gets talked about so much. Dirty air has always been a thing. It's always going to be a thing. But it's like people's crutch when they want to judge a race that they didn't like, or they want to judge a car they don't like. Oh, the dirty air is terrible. Oh my God, dirty air. This race sucked. Like, so I feel you on that. Honestly, like, just dirty air's talked about way too much, and I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, no, for sure. I think Reddick, if SVG, so if SVG like somehow gets taken out of the race, like a mechanical failure or crash, that completely opens the book up. I would say Bell is my favorite right now, and then Reddick would probably be second. I'd throw Elliott and Larson in there, and then Allmendinger. Allmendinger's just elite at the Roval, so I'd say those would be my 5 next up behind SVG. Zero Apex said SVG said he's going to do everything he can to help Ross next weekend. Well, yeah. Obviously, in the situation that SVG is in, is that he's out of the playoffs. His teammate Ross Chastain is in the playoffs. So obviously, every tip, every little input on the car, everything about the car, everything about literally physically driving the track, I'm sure SVG is going to do. Assuming that they're in the same group in practice and qualifying, I would guess that it's going to be one of those situations. Remember at Mexico when Ryan Preece qualified on the front row, he followed Buescher, like he followed him in his tire tracks, and he ended up doing better. Something like that where Chastain just trails trails SVG by a certain amount and tries to match his line, match his, everything. And as I said, qualifying is going to be crucial next week. So I think that's one way you could see that happen. Thanks, TP. I appreciate it. Kyle Busch's only 2 top 5s this year were road courses. I knew Coda for sure. I mean, everyone remembers Coda because Kyle Busch led a bunch of laps. He almost won that race. That caution ended up screwing him. Did he score top 5 at Watkins Glen? Dude, I don't even remember. Okay, let's just go by his race by race. Look at all these career highlights for Kyle Busch, and then they just kind of stop at 2019. That's unfortunate. So, Kyle Busch's last top 10 with Darlington? Really? He scored top 10 at Darlington. Okay, cool. Top 10 at Sonoma. Okay. Top 5 at Chicago. All right. Definitely forgot that. So, yeah. 1, 2 plus Coda. That's 3 of his top 10s. What are the other road courses? Watkins Glen, he was not. Mexico, he was not. So we all remember Mexico, what he did there. So 3 of his 8 top 10s are road courses. Out of his 62 laps, probably most of that was Coda, if I had to guess. Yeah, they don't put a lap sled category on here. Speaking of, I haven't looked at the season lap sled since the race. Denny's got to be the leader. No? Oh, he's still well off. Larson has the most laps led. Byron's in second. Briscoe's actually in third. All right, you learn something new every day. Okay. Can only imagine what it's like doing 100 miles an hour, having asphalt inches from your head. Dude, I want to know what Zane Smith was thinking in that moment. You're literally on your side, as you said, inches away from the asphalt. I mean, ultimately he's safe. These cars are really safe, but crazy things happen. But you're looking down, did he peek down at any point? I don't know. Oh, Steve. Oh my goodness. Steve with a zinger here. I thought they banned drivers from driving along the wall. Ha ha ha. Yes, they did. So technically, Zane Smith should have been penalized. No, not really, but that is a good one, Steve. That is a good one. Dirty air is the worst on the elevator ride. And oh my God, Jamie. That's a good one too, man. You got some good jokes out here, huh? All right, let's see. Yeah, Larson was really good at the Roval. Him and Elliott both have multiple Roval wins. Does anyone else? I don't think anyone else has multiple. I mean, obviously Bell, Blaney, Allmendinger, but those are the only ones with multiple Roval wins. Okay, Micah, this is another great one. Where did Byron come from at the end? Byron was awful yesterday. I don't think he scored any stage points. Let's see here. Nope, no stage points for William Byron. Was terrible all day. I'm curious what his average running position was. I wonder if they have it. They do not. What? Ninth. I don't even know where he came from at the end. Like, that was out of nowhere. Yeah, so that's wild. Oof. Okay, that was the tab I forgot. Thank you, Jamie, for reminding me of the tab I forgot. So, NASCAR parted ways with race director Jusan, apologies if I pronounced that wrong, Hamilton. This was kind of out of nowhere. They said that it was not due to performance, which really makes it more confusing. Obviously, I don't know why. We don't have any reasons right now, but that's a pretty significant role that's been left vacant. Obviously, I think they have 2 interims right now. They got 2 guys in race control. But yeah, that was kind of like we're in the middle of the playoffs and everything. So, not sure what the story is there. Don't want to speculate on anything, but that was definitely kind of that happened. So, should we get to the SVG recap? Yeah, no, SVG recap time, maybe. Yesterday was Chase Elliott's first playoff. Oh my God, was it really? Oh yeah, Talladega 2022. You're right. That was his last playoff. Because yeah, he's only had 1 win a season since. Or he didn't even win in 2023. Won at Texas in 2024, which was in April. And then Atlanta this summer. I mean, Elliott was top 5 all day. Scored stage points. Actually qualified well. Everyone has been knocking on Elliott because he hasn't qualified well. They qualify 17th. They score maybe 5 stage points in a race. And then all of a sudden, they finish 5th. It's like, okay, that's still a really solid day. Well, yesterday they scored, oh gosh, I have to do math here. 15, I think I did that right. 15 stage points. That's got to be a season high or near a season high. And they win the race. That's their best race all season. I don't think, even compared to Atlanta. Atlanta's a super speedway. The big wreck happened. Elliott won a lot of stage points there and blah, 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 blah. He was top 5 all day here. And, this isn't a fluke. He's always been good at Kansas for some reason. Kansas has been his best mile and a half by far. He won there back in 2018 in the old car. The next-gen car, he's led a lot of laps. Even that 2023 season when he was having a down year after the injury and everything, still led a lot of laps in that race. I think he finished in the top 5, I want to say. Was running runner-up to Kyle Larson the entirety of the first 2 stages. Even led some laps in that one in the spring before a pit stop derailed their day. There you go. They're winners. And also the round of 8 actually kind of somewhat lines up for him. Elliott's a really good super speedway racer. I think he could potentially win Talladega. Martinsville, he's led laps in the last 3 or 4 races there, so he could be in contention for that one. So it may come down to a must win, but I think he can win Martinsville or Talladega. It's very possible. Yeah, Elliott was the best Hendrick car. Like, Larson led one lap. Larson scored a lot of stage points, yeah, but Elliott was ahead of him for a good chunk of the race. Like, that was kind of one of the biggest surprises, I would say. Like, if you told me Elliott was on par or right with Larson, I would assume that he's behind Larson at Kansas. Because as good as Elliott is at Kansas, Larson's elite at Kansas. He has 4 wins at Kansas. He's led 500 something laps. I don't remember the number. Like, Larson's just really good at Kansas, whereas Elliott is just really good. I think I said 5 for Larson and 4 for Elliott. So, yeah, we'll see. 2311 loses their case. Any thoughts on if the drivers leave and where they go? Well, if 2311 loses their case and they shut down, then yeah, I guess the drivers have to leave. Reddick would be the hottest commodity, obviously. He would be the one that everyone's going to try to make room for. I would assume he would also be a little bit more picky. I don't know if that's the right word, but he'd want to go to the top team. Like, for example, he might not want to go back to RCR right now. But, you know, if a spot opened up at... I'm trying to think of a realistic option. Like, right now, like... if Hendrick didn't like Bowman getting eliminated first round and they wanted Reddick in there, maybe they would do that. But I don't see that happening right now. The problem is all the big teams are kind of taken up. Gibbs, none of those drivers are leaving anytime soon. If this was 2 years in the future, you could have them replace Denny. Not going to happen right now. Penske, I think they're happy. Some people might argue Cindric, but Cindric won a race this year. He's still in the playoffs in the round of 12. And then Hendrick, as I said, I still think that driver lineup is good. And I know Bowman had a little bit of a rough year and he had a really bad playoff, but I don't know. So, like, if we just go through these teams here, like, RFK's got a solid lineup. Trackhouse is about to have their lineup. Like, SVG and Chastain are locked in for multiple years. Zilich is their driver of the future. If a front row seat opened up, you know, I could see that. You know, Gregson's had a pretty rough year, and maybe, I don't know. The Spire seat could open up potentially. Expansion for Legacy Motor Club, and if another Toyota team shuts down, maybe they get some more Toyota funding. I don't know. It's hard to guess. It's hard to predict, so you never know. But that's a hypothetical for December. So, yeah. All right, let's do the SVG recap. I'm going to declaratively, we're going to do it now. I'm going to take a lot of breaks. I got some bits I got to do for the intro. So, in the live stream, these bits I'm doing, it's going to be really awkward. You're going to see the awkward pauses that when I normally do this in video form, you're going to see those awkward pauses here because we're in the middle of a live stream. So, sorry that it's so awkward. You get to see the weirdness of the behind the scenes. So, bonus content behind the scenes right here. So, okay. I don't really have any notes. I got home 3 hours ago. I didn't really have time to go through his radio and go through the race. I watched the race highlights and kind of looked at where he was throughout the race. And really, I'll just explain the penalty. I'll explain how NASCAR has different rules. And then we'll just kind of, honestly, we'll kind of just blow through the race. Like, it's going to be pretty quick. And then you really don't even need to hear from me. I mean, SVG and Chase Elliott, and anytime you can hear from them, it's a billion times better than hearing it from me. So, anywho, let's get this started. Oh, I should probably check what minute we're at here. 45 minutes. 8:45. Okay. That ended up working out well. Okay. Ooh, boy. Oh, that's... Actually, no. We're not starting on that. All right, we're starting over the bit again. Hold on. Okay. I gotta open up a new tab. See, I'm thinking on the fly here. This is what happens when I think on the fly, okay? Hold on. You guys gotta give me a second. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. Still getting this extra tab ready. So how's everyone's day? Oh, here we go. Okay, I got the tab ready. There we go. Can I merge these? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, plan B. Hold on, I'm sorry this is taking so long. I was not prepared. One more second, then we'll get to the SVG recap. Then we'll get to picture time. I'm excited about picture time. And then we'll make our Monday picks. So, once again. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Shane Van Gisbergen has to start from the pit lane essentially, drop to the rear, and they lost their crew chief? Ugh. There's no way he gets his first oval top 10 here. Guys, top 10. That was horrible. Oh my goodness. See, this is why I don't do this live. There's too much pressure. He got his first oval top 10 after starting dead last and from the pit lane? Okay, we can get into the real stuff now. I'm sorry you had to witness that. That was really bad. I'm sorry. That was awful. Yes, we're doing that in a live stream. So if you want to go back and watch the pathetic outtakes, go for it. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the pathetic outtakes. It finally happened. Shane Van Gisbergen scored his first oval top 10 in the NASCAR Cup Series, and it came in the most bizarre of circumstances. Seriously. Now, Shane Van Gisbergen, Kansas Speedway. Forgot to look up the track specifics. It's a 1.5 mile speedway, which is equivalent to how many kilometers is the real question as I stall to find it. 2.41 kilometers. That is how long this track is. Progressive banking at this track, 17 to 20 degrees in the turns. It's a multi-groove track, meaning you can run all the way down at the bottom of the track on the white line. You can run in the middle, or you can run right on the wall, which is actually the preferred at this track. The front stretch has a bit of banking, 10 degrees of banking. It's a curved tri-oval. So, how did Shane Van Gisbergen do at this track in the spring? Remember, he has raced here. He actually scored a top 20 in the spring, and this is something I wanted to talk about. SVG at the 1.5 miles. Something, I don't know what, but something he has figured out about these 1.5 miles. He had a 14th at Charlotte, back in the Coca-Cola 600 in May. As I said, top 20 Kansas, back in his first ever start at that 1.5 mile track. top 25 at Texas. So what is it about him in these mile and a halves? I'm doing these pauses. I'm going to cut some clips in. So yeah, we've already talked about it a little bit. Well, you already know the results. SVG got his first oval top 10 at Kansas, but how did he get there? Well, he went about the wackiest path you could have possibly gone. He didn't do what he did at New Hampshire last week. Qualify really well, running the top 10 the entire race before, he got taken out. No, he qualified 24th in this race, which isn't bad for, his mile and a half qualifying has not been great. As I said, the race results have been great, but the qualifying, not particularly exciting. So 24th, decent. Well, then a couple hours later, just the bottom falls out. Like, just all of a sudden, it's over. It seems like it's over. Top 10's not happening this week. Move along to the Roval. Go win the Roval, and then, I don't know, try again at Vegas for your first oval top 10. Because a penalty was handed out to the number 88 team. So in NASCAR, there are rules. You can only adjust certain parts at certain times. If we want to get really complicated, the next-gen car has some spec parts that are made by a third-party vendor. And if you adjust those, you get like massive penalties. I'm talking like 100-point penalties, like season-altering penalties. Ultimately, that's like midweek penalties. But for the race weekend penalties, unapproved adjustments happen. Teams tweak something they're not supposed to tweak. They tweak it at the wrong time. After qualifying, they realize something is broken and they have to fix it, and it's an unapproved adjustment. For the most part, for the majority of unapproved adjustment penalties, it's simply you drop to the rear at the beginning of the race. So, for example, Shane Van Gisbergen, he qualified 24th. He would have just started dead last as opposed to everything else that I'm about to explain here. In fact, when we go through these finishing results, all three Penske cars actually had to. Now, granted, Blaney started dead last and Logano third to last. But Austin Cindric down here qualified 26th. They made an unapproved adjustment, and as a result, they had to drop to the rear of the field. But that was it. That was the only penalty. Well, the 88 team and the 71 of Michael McDowell, by the way, that was like the light end of the penalty. Not only did Shane Van Gisbergen have to drop to the rear of the field, he had to serve a stop-and-go penalty on lap 1, which is exactly what it sounds like. He had to drive down pit lane, go to his pit stall, stop in his pit box, and take off again. Well, when you're ripping 30, 31, 32 second laps at Kansas Speedway, yeah, it takes a while to get down pit road at pit road speed, do a stop and go. So as a result, Shane Van Gisbergen basically started this race a lap down. I think he even went 2 laps down at one point in this race. Running in the 30s at the beginning of this race, not necessarily on pace. It's because, as I said, they had this massive penalty. So, and then another layer on top of dropping to the rear, on top of, I think they even lost their pit stall selection, which is a very crucial thing, and on top of having to do the stop and go penalty and starting this race 1 lap down, they also lost the crew chief. The crew chief was ejected from the property. Yes, that is a real thing. The crew chief is ejected. They have a NASCAR official walk the crew chief out of the garage area and off of the premises in situations like this. Now, it doesn't get violent. It doesn't get ugly. It's just it's like when you get fired or something and, they send a security officer so you don't like go crazy or whatever. It's just a precaution. It's just a normal thing. They just walk you out. So as a result, Stephen Doran cannot attend the race on Sunday. He cannot physically be at the track. However, Shane Van Gisbergen and backup crew chief, fill-in crew chief Chase Elliott, who is an engineer on the 88 team. All these teams in NASCAR, they have these backup plans. Like if a crew chief gets suspended, who's the backup crew chief? Who's going to step in? Usually in NASCAR, it's an engineer who steps in for that crew chief role for a week or two. Back in the day, I say back in the day, this was like 5 years ago. When a crew chief got suspended for a loose wheel, like you'd have someone else, and it happened a lot. So they'd serve a 2-race suspension. You throw an engineer on the pit box. But these crew chiefs, while they are not physically at the track, I'm going into a wayside thing here, but I feel like it's necessary. While they are not physically at the track, they can still like talk to the team and stuff. Like obviously they're not making the direct calls on the pit box. But for example, Shane Van Gisbergen and Chase Elliott, the backup crew chief, both explained how Saturday night they still were able to talk to Steven Doran about the setup and what happened Sunday. So, I did a lot of talking there, a lot of explaining. But to sum this penalty thing up, they got slapped with the biggest unapproved adjustment penalty you could get, I would assume. Stop and go penalty. Crew chief is out of there. Start dead last, and you don't have a pit stall selection. So, just like the worst possible start for the 88 team and the 71, obviously, who obviously got that penalty as well. So you start this race dead last. You go through all this stuff. So Shane Van Gisbergen, how in the world did he end up here? How in the world did he get his first oval top 10? Okay, I was at the race. I was in the pits. I was taking pictures. I was taking videos. The first time I knew that this was a possibility was like sometime in stage 3. I think it was the caution with 44 to go. He was 16th. And I was like, how in the world did he get there? Anywho. So I kind of went through the race replay, and he got his lap back. He got back on the lead lap. If you guys remember, if you're the first car 1 lap down and a caution comes out, you get the lucky dog. You get the free pass, and you're able to get back on the lead lap. That happened sometime early in stage 2. SVG actually finished stage 2 in the top 20. I believe he finished 19th, so that was a really big deal. You start dead last, you're lap down, rally, you're in the top 20 by the end of stage 2. And at that point, I think they might have thought that, hey, this was actually a possibility. He could really get his first oval top 10 here. Well, as the race goes on, he's running 14th with, 20 laps to go. And then the laps are dwindling down. He's still running 14th. Well, then a caution comes out with 15 laps to go. Bunch the field back up. Late race restarts in a NASCAR race. And also pit stops. And ultimately, the 88 team had to make a strategy call, and their crew chief wasn't there to make that strategy call. They kind of had to go with the backup crew chief making that strategy call. So what was the call? We saw all day in this race 2 tires versus 4 tires. The tires were wearing, but they weren't wearing at a rapid rate, and the left side tires weren't wearing at all. So you could take right side tires and still run decently, be competitive, have a shot at a win or a competitive result. So 2 tires versus 4 tires. What did Chase Elliott decide to do? So ultimately, they take 4 tires late in this race, and there were 3 late race restarts in this thing. SVG was able to get up as high as 7th, I want to say. And look at this. He finishes 10th. Top 10 finish. So SVG finally did it. He finally got his first oval top 10. We've been teasing it all year long. He waited till week 31 to do it. I'm kidding. That's a joke mainly. But, we've talked about it throughout the year. The progression. Shane Van Gisbergen, he even referenced it. Having to get better at ovals. Or learning that process, however you want to say it. But SVG has been progressing throughout the year. When you look at the short ovals, Martinsville in the spring was a disaster. That was a horrible race. But then a short track later in the year at Richmond running in the top 15. Mile and a half, as I said, he's progressed pretty well. Vegas in the spring was a disaster. Well, then Texas was a decent result. Kansas in the spring was a pretty good result. Charlotte was a great result. And now here we are in September. Okay, it's still September 2025. He gets his first oval top 10 at a mile and a half. Not a super speedway, as we've talked about before. The super speedways can be crapshoots. The short tracks more fit his style because it's heavy braking, managing your tires and stuff like he does on the road courses. They're at a mile and a half, a traditional NASCAR track. Like, it's pretty wild. So I think I got everything in there I wanted. or that you need to know. If I didn't ask questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Sometimes I'm bad at answering comments, but thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. SVG and Chase Elliott did it much better than me explaining their day. Big thank you to Chase. SVG, thank you to him too for answering questions after the race. He was available to the media after the race as one of the significant storylines. But Chase Elliott, good meeting him. Very appreciative to him. He did not have to take that time after the race to speak with me. So a big thank you to him as well. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I got to get back to this live stream. I've been talking for like a long time at this point, and they've had to deal with my horrible acting. Okay, thank you guys for tolerating me as I do the SVG recap. We have a lot of Aussie and Kiwi viewers here, so we still got to appeal to them, and they're big Shane Van Gisbergen fans. I don't know why, but they are. Hello, Mr. Spaceman 360. How is Mr. Pickles? Is Mr. Pickles doing well? That's my question. Jamie says my acting is impeccable. Jamie, thank you for the contribution to the travel fund. Mr. Spaceman and Jamie contributing to the travel fund. We appreciate you both. Want a Final Four prediction redo? Nope. My Final Four is looking pretty darn good right now. Look at that. Yeah. 2 of my 4 are in the Elite 8. Who are the other 2? Byron? Okay. I might want to rethink Byron, but you know what? I'm feeling confident right now. We're going to keep it. Yeah, I like this Final Four. Bell, Elliott, Blaney, Byron. Yeah. I'm feeling good right now. So no. Actually, Jamie, no. I don't want a Final Four redo, but I appreciate the offer. Do you want a Final Four redo? But no. Yeah. 2 of my Final Four locked into the Elite 8. And the other 2, Bell and Byron, are like plus 40. So that's nice. Let's see. Bell plus 44, Byron plus 40. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling way too confident. This is going to go horribly wrong. They're going to wreck on lap 1 in the Roval. Tyler Reddick's going to win. Ross Chastain's going to finish 2nd. And my bracket is cooked. Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles is playing around. Is Mr. Pickles... I haven't seen Mr. Pickles in so long. Mr. Pickles is Mr. Spaceman 360's cat. His name is Mr. Pickles, and he's a fun cat. He is. I'm not a big cat person, but Mr. Pickles is a fun cat. Mr. Spaceman says Ross Chastain's winning the Roval and Dega. Who wants to look at pictures? We've been going on a while, which is a good thing. I appreciate you all for being here. We've had a lot of fun discussions about the Bubba Wallace Denny Hamlin incident. We talked about SVG's day. We talked about Elliott's win. It's picture time, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to look at the pictures from... come over here. Get over here. Why are you being complicated today? Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. Get over here. Do I have to? We are experiencing some technical difficulties. This is very embarrassing. Well, I don't like technical difficulties. Aha! Here we go. So, picture time. I gotta scroll all the way to the top. I'm debating if I want to start the pictures. Mr. Spaceman 360, you're going to love this first picture. I'm only going to be on it for like 5 seconds, so better get a quick look. But as I said, guys, I have not gone through all these pictures, so some of them will be pretty rough. But let's do it. It's picture time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, this first picture, it was just it's obligatory. I think I said that word right. Yeah, obligatory. They have pickleball courts at Kansas. I'm not kidding. This is literally on top of the front stretch near turn 1. I had to walk to it through these pickle courts every single time. If I wanted to go on the fence, like to get those camera holes through the fence, I had to walk by the pickleball court every single time. Also, you got to go like 7 flights of stairs. Calves are a toast right now. Anywho. Once again. Class NZ, welcome. Hi. That is the casino off of Turn 2 at Kansas Speedway. I'm not making that up. That is a real-life casino where real-life money is gambled. Pre-race shots from the ARCA Menard series. We'll go through ARCA a little bit quicker just because we don't talk a lot about ARCA on here. I mean, I still care about ARCA, but it's grid shot. This is probably my favorite picture from the ARCA race. Here's some of the driver intros. I kind of blew through these and deleted a bunch, but this guy seemed happy. Yeah, there you go. This is Bobby Dale Earnhardt. He got the biggest cheer out of all the ARCA drivers. That's a little bit rough. A lot of these drivers looking down. This guy was funny. Once again, I'm bad at keeping up with ARCA. Apologies. He came out doing like a moonwalk on the stage or something, and then he started hitting the, do we call that the MJ shrug? Yeah, funny guy. Iowa, the Hawkeyes. Remember when they like could never score touchdowns? I do. More pictures. Corey Day was in the ARCA race. Butterbean. He ended up racing the Xfinity race too. He obviously ended up winning the ARCA race. We'll get to that in a minute. The sunset was really pretty. So here's a fence shot. Focused on the fence. Still focused on the fence. Here we go. Okay, so this dude pops a tire. When any race car pops, like the tire pops, it is loud. Like louder than the engines. I remember the first time I heard a tire pop. It was at Texas 2018. Ryan Newman popped a tire in turn 1, like right in front of me. I was wearing ear protection and it hurt. Like, it's super loud. But as I said, some of these are rough, but this is kind of the progression of the wreck. There's Gio. This was my phone picture, so yeah. Here we are on the fence, another phone picture. This is the start of the race. Back on pit road. There you go. Butterbean on his way to victory. More ARCA pictures. Here's the burnout. Go through here. I'll probably go through these tomorrow. Maybe. Victory Lane. Oh my goodness. The race was sponsored by Reese's and we got Reese's. Peanut butter cups. So good. This is like some Reese's executive. Back to your earlier question, Jamie. I wish I could have interviewed him and then asked for like a lifetime supply of Reese's. There's Butterbean with the trophy. We're back to phone video. Okay, here we go to the NASCAR side of things. Xfinity practice. Harrison Burton. Austin Hill, I didn't mention him. Harrison Burton. Christian Eckes. Connor Zilic. Excuse me. We'll get to the grid shots. The close-up of this is just insane. Quabble. Jones, the eventual winner, by the way. Let's see here. I will say the mornings were really pretty at Kansas. Like, just the weather was perfect. Just a little bit hot. Not hot, but just a little warm, which felt really good. And in the afternoons, it was hot. In fact, I drank like 20 of these a day. I don't know if that's actually the number, but I don't know if you're supposed to see that, but too late. My bad. Pre-race driver availabilities. I didn't post them all. Sorry. My bad. Here we go. Cup practice. Beefaroo. The Beefaroo mascot was not at Kansas. I was disappointed. After seeing the Beefaroo mascot in Vegas, I thought it was going to be at Kansas. Kyle Busch. Look away. Ty Gibbs. Obviously a big storyline heading into the race. Oh, there's SVG in the Red Bull. That's a little blurry. John Hunter Nemechek, who made Zane Smith quite mad. Blurry. That's a driver. Oh, Kyle Busch again. Justin Haley. Ryan Blaney. Here we go. Here's the playoff group. Eventual winner Chase Elliott. Denny. Did I just say Truex almost? Okay. Here we go. There they are on the track. Thank you, TP. I appreciate it. Oh, it's such a pretty paint scheme. Air Force always has such pretty paint schemes. There's JJ Yaley, Chase Elliott, the eventual winner. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson. Some of these pictures you'll see on, or you did see on Go Full Throttle. So, Byron with a new paint scheme, the American flag Cincinnati scheme. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Barry with a new scheme, the Dutch boy. Or not new, but he's only run it like once or twice. Very colorful. 45, 23, 77, 22, 71. Oh, the Gamebridge color is always really pretty. The 3 car, the new paint scheme. This was the Ryan Blaney damage after his practice crash. So you can see there it's kind of bent a little bit. Obviously, the damage on the side. We can't really take pictures of inside the engine for, obvious reasons. But, yeah. And then here we go. On the fence, there's Cody Ware, Justin Haley. This was a great shot for qualifying because the way they come up on the track is, like, right in front of you. So you can get these, like, really good shots. It was really difficult to get right here. And I had the wrong lens at the time. So that was rough. But, like, right here, like, that's not bad. Get a clear look at the car. Ty Dillon, Kyle Busch again. There's Todd Gilliland during his qualifying lap. There's Brad again. Buescher with some blur. Here's Briscoe right before he won the pole. There you go. That's after he won the pole. Oh, here's the SVG qualifying lap. Jamie, all of them, I would say. So yeah, I'll say all of them. Here's Briscoe. Oh, look, you can see the signature as it goes. Ready? Wow. Oh, too much. Okay, so whoever wins the pole at Kansas gets this little Batmobile thing, a little scooter Batmobile sort of. What you would call it. Sometimes the drivers try to sit in it and like fit in it because it's like really awkward. And obviously, look, Chase Briscoe is a grown adult man, and this is for like a little kid. He said he's going to gift it to one of his children. So ultimately, Chase Briscoe would not fit in here because he's a grown up. Some drivers have tried before and it just looks really awkward or they don't fit. So, anywho. I've not gone through these particularly, but obviously got a lot of them. Okay. Hello, Kiwi Turtle. So there were a bunch of dogs on the grid, and this was the first one. This dog mascot, Sparky. Don't even remember what the sponsor is, but it's right here on the Joey Gase car. Look, Sparky's waving. Hi, Sparky. Justin Allgaier, Connor Zilisch. Speaking of dogs, as I said, wait for it. Any minute here. All right, there's Butterbean. Sawalich. Look at this. As I said earlier, look at all these stickers. You know, you get a trophy when you win a race, and, you know, you get some money or whatever. You get to spray or I guess Connor Zilisch gets to spray some ginger ale. You get to have a grand old time, celebrate with your team. But the coolest part of winning a NASCAR race is you get a sticker and you get to put it on your car. And Zilisch has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I forgot they have a 10th because of Larson. So Zilisch has 10 stickers on his car. See, here's the dog. Here's the other dog I was talking about. Zilich with the dog. This is an awkward picture. I'll admit it. Thought it was funny, so we're keeping it. There's a better picture. See, smiles. Look, the dog is smiling. Zilich is smiling. Everyone's happy. There's Allgaier again. National anthem. Dun dun. Or whatever the sound effect is for Law and Order. Here's early in the race, the Xfinity race. Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray battling. There's Zilich. There's Taylor Gray again. Taylor Gray again. Nope, phone selfie. I take one of these pre-race usually, and then I'll put it on the Twitter. Race start. I think these are just some wide shots. Yeah, this is a restart. Yeah, I got most of the field here in one shot. So, yeah, not bad. Video, and then here's the final lap. So some of these, as I said, I haven't gone through. I was messing with a couple of different settings, trying to find out what to use for the final laps and the burnouts. Maybe I did go through some of these because these are not as awful as I thought. Okay, I have gone. So here's the burnout. That's not great. Better. Kicked up some dirt during his burnout. Fun fact. This is so odd. Out of the Xfinity races I've been to this year, I've only been to one Connor Zilich victory, who has 9 wins on the year. I've been to 2 Brandon Jones victories. He only has 2. Now, then again, his best tracks are Darlington and Kansas, which is where he won at, but it is a funny coincidence. So here's the full burnout. You can see it progressing. Some of these pictures are good. Some of them are not. I think this was the one we used on the website. So, yeah, go check that out. More. There's Austin Hill post-race. I think he got top 5, I want to say. Taylor Gray. Here's Brandon Jones with the trophy. It's blurry. Delete that later. There you go. You can see the full trophy and everything. And that was the Zilich post-race. Here we go. Cup Series Sunday. Best food item sold at Kansas track? Don't know. Good question, though. I'm sure they had some chicken tenders. When I went in 2022, I think I had chicken tenders. Chicken tenders are good. Can never go wrong with chicken tenders. Pre-race grid shot. This is like, I've just loved taking this picture. Whether the cars are lined straight up or angled like this, I don't know why. I'm just obsessed with this shot. Like taking shots like this. There's just something about all the cars lined up in a perfect line and all the different colors. Like, I don't know why, but I'm just obsessed with taking that every race. All right, let's go through the grid, shall we? So we got Briscoe, Hamlin, Larson, eventual winner Elliott, Bell, Hocevar, Bubba, Gibbs, Chastain, Jones, Byron, Reddick, Berry, Gregson, Busher, Dillon, Bowman, Stenhouse, Preece, Allmendinger. Skip the pace car. Should have taken a pace car. That would have been funny. Oh, well. McDowell, Haley, Todd, SVG, Nemechek, Hendrick, Custer. Ooh, it's such a pretty car. I should have taken more pictures. I regret not taking more pictures of this one. Zane Smith, Bush, Suarez. Ooh, this was also a really pretty car that I also regret not taking more pictures of. Keselowski, Herbst, DraftKings, Ty Dillon, Cody Ware, Joey Logano, JJ Yaley, Ryan Blaney. And then I just kind of did the same grid shots just from the back. Took a couple different angles, did a couple different zoom options, phone picture. John, so Zilich has 9 wins, but you got to remember, he missed a race at Texas. Kyle Larson raced in that race in the 88 car, and Kyle Larson won. So technically, the 88 car has 10 wins. So that's why the 10th win is, the 10th sticker is on that car. Speedway. Jeff Gordon pre-race. walking through. And then here's Michael McDowell. I was initially planning on doing a story on the penalties for SVG and McDowell and just kind of doing a little bit more of a breakdown, but then SVG got his top 10 and that kind of had to shift the narrative of the story, and I ended up dropping the McDowell thing out completely. Smiles, yay. There's McDowell again. Here's JJ Yeley. So the back of the grid is like the best place to take pictures pre-race, because the front of the grid is always so crowded, because like it's always big names up there. But every once in a while, like Vegas in the spring, Blaney was in the back. So I got some really good shots of like Blaney in his car. So if a really good driver qualifies bad and you're ever a photographer at the race, go to the back of the grid and just like camp. Like, it's great. It's just perfect. So, which owners did you see in Kansas? Rick Ware was at the race. Jeff Gordon's technically an owner. He was at the race. Denny Hamlin was at the race. Richard Childress was at the race. Who else? Joe Gibbs was at the race. Joe Gibbs was there Saturday and Sunday, as he always is. By the way, Jamie and Mr. Spaceman 360, it's your goat. Paul Wolf. Yeah, I think that's all the owners I saw. Obviously, there were probably more, but that's all I had. Oh, here's the flyover. There's a glare here in a minute. 3. Oh, no, it's that one. Mr. Spaceman 360, you literally wear that Joey Logano shirt all the time. I have photographic evidence. Oh, here we go. All right, so pace laps. All right. No, Connor Zilic is not doing any more Cup events this season. Not scheduled, at least. And it's too late in the season, honestly, to schedule him. Though he was at the race on Sunday. So that's of note. I'm sure that was a Red Bull thing, though. Like, I think he was doing some Red Bull promotional before the race. So, since the 88 had Red Bull. Well, Michael Jordan doesn't show up to every race, but he was at Darlington a few weeks ago. Not sure if he was at Bristol. But he shows up for sure to the big ones. You know, the Southern 500. He was at the Darlington spring race, too, so. Yeah, I was trying to get a picture of the pit sign kind of messed some of these up, so we skip a few cars at some point in here. Go through the field, everyone get a look, find your favorite driver, pretty cars, colorful. Here we go, beginning of the race. Truex, or I keep saying Truex. Briscoe and Hamlin fighting for the lead. Also, someone wrote locked in like the biggest letters, and it's like in every single picture of the front stretch. I mean, it's cool. I love that people can write on the wall. It's just like every time I looked up the wall, it says locked in, and I don't know why. There's probably some more message. So yeah, Briscoe and Angle. Here we go. So McDowell at this point is a lap down. This is when SVG and McDowell had served their penalties. So at some point there's pictures in here. Here we go. Okay, so you're gonna see this in the SVG recap once I edit it up and make it look prettier than the unedited version that you just had to suffer through. But yeah. Here's some pictures of them. They were fighting for the lucky dog. This is literally like lap 5, lap 6 or something. Mr. Spaceman 360, you're going to wear your Joey Logano shirt at Texas. Yeah, you did that this year. You did it last year. You do it every single year. You're the biggest Joey Logano fan outside of Jamie, maybe. Any trophy pictures? Did I get any pictures of the trophy? I know I got pictures of Chase Elliott eating some ribs. That's a trophy, technically. I think. Pre-race shot. This is the phone. Here we go. Here's a restart. Once again, just kind of a wider shot, trying to get as many as possible. Here's Elliott, Bell, and Larson 3 wide. This was with the short lens, so it's all zoomed out, but I zoomed in this one. I think we put it on the site or on Twitter, maybe. Jamie, that's another good question. Don't know who the Grand Marshal was and don't know who the flag waver was. For the Grand Marshal, I had my ear protection on, and I had the MRN in my ears, so not sure who the Grand Marshal was, and definitely don't know who the flag waver was. But it wasn't significant enough that they got a press conference, so more battling. Oh, here's foreshadowing. These two battling for the win. Wow, foreshadowing. I love it. More. Oh, my goodness. Oh, here's Chastain and Briscoe. Elliott and Larson. Hey, shades of Watkins Glen 2022 with these two paint schemes. Here's Briscoe and Logano. Oh, here's the Bell pit stop. Ooh, yeah. There we go. I also got video of this, which is great. Also, this is when Reddick and Bell almost collided on pit road because you can see Reddick coming in here. Didn't even know it was happening till after the fact. So you can see here's Reddick like backing up, literally backing up on pit road to get into this pit stall. And this is in the 20 box. You can see the ream right here. This is in the 20s box. He had to back up because he missed his pit stall because the 20 was coming out and he had to dodge him. Here's another restart. Nice. Pace car. There's the picture of the pace car. Battling for position. Once again, more foreshadowing with the 9 and the Hamlin car. Here we go. There was terrible glare in turn 1 as the race went on. So I'll delete a bunch of these because it just looked so bad. Like, that's not bad, but then like that, like, oh. Here we go. Here's some 88 pictures. 24. Ooh. Yeah, this is the point where I have not gone through the pictures. So brace for some rough ones like this. And this. Okay, there's a Chastain and Logano. Remember when they had a rivalry for like a month and Logano like yelled at Chastain at Chicago? What if that reignites this week? Ooh. Pit stop. Oh, hello. Dow. Oh my goodness. These are... That's not as sucky. That's sucky. Ooh. That's not horrible. Oh my goodness. Can I go to the website through this picture? That's creepy. That's rough. That's rough. That's rough. Okay. Hey, that's more foreshadowing. This is even more direct foreshadowing because first and second. Wow. 20 and the 11. Blurry. Oh, here's the 9 again. Oh, here's the 11 and the 20 again. Did I see any fights? I don't think so. Not between drivers. What the hell? Okay. It's blurry. More foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. Oh, here's from like the top of the stands near the pickleball courts. Who would I root for in a Ty Gibbs SVG fist fight? When it comes to fights, I don't root for anyone. I root for the least damage done. Like, I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but like the most exciting thing you can see, I guess. But yeah, that would be an unfair fight because Ty Gibbs is a short, kind of tiny guy, and SVG is a tall, and he's got some beef on him that could do some damage. Okay, here we're back on the fence here. These are really blurry. I have not looked at these. That's not as awful. Some of these are really rough, but there's one picture in here that was like perfectly timed. That is maybe the favorite picture of the weekend for me. not this, not this, not this, not this, not this, not this. This one. This is like the one. Just the perfect focus on the car. You can see Denny in there. You can see his hand on the wheel. You can see the visor color. Like, this is like my favorite picture from the weekend. Yeah. I'm proud of this one. Very proud of this one. Okay, so here's where we get to the overtime restarts. As I said, I haven't gone through these, so some of these are blurry. And also, I was messing with settings at this point. Shade setting versus just the natural setting. So if some of these, like, these aren't bad because I think I was in the day setting here. This is when I thought these two were going to be battling for the win, or we all did. Then Briscoe got up in there. And then this is when I was testing out the shaded setting. Back to the phone. And here we go. This was one of the final restarts. This might have been the final restart, but you can see Bell from Bubba, from Reddick, from Briscoe, from Larson, from Hamlin, from SVG, from Elliott. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe this was the second to last. Yeah, this is when Zane Smith flips, I think. Yeah, so you can see, like, just some of these are bad. Ooh. This one doesn't suck. And this little thing right here makes it interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the final restart. This is when Elliott goes crazy. Yeah, here we go. Here's coming to the white flag. Look at the roof flaps, or the hood flaps coming up on the 11. This is when they're 3 wide. Look at this. Ready? So here's coming to the white. White flag is in the air. Toyota, first, second, third, fourth. Oh, what's the Chevrolet in fifth doing here? He's not going to be a factor. Surely he's not going to be a factor, right? Right? Oh, that's a bad picture. Oh my goodness. Where did the Chevrolet come from? We've got 5 cars within frame coming to the checkered flag. You can see the door mark on the 11 from the contact with the 9. The locked in on the wall. These 3 wide for third. Coming to the stripe. This is the exact moment Chase Elliott takes the checkered flag and becomes the winner at Kansas. Just beats Denny Hamlin. And here we go to the burnouts. Some of these may be rough. That one doesn't completely suck. That one doesn't completely suck. Here we go. Chase Elliott, the winner at Kansas in thrilling fashion. More burnout. You can't even see the car anymore. SVG post-race giving a fist bump to one of his crew members, I think. And here it is. Chase Elliott, the winner. Eating ribs. Yes. At first he started handing them out to his team like he didn't want to eat them. And then the track president was like, it's a photo op, man. Just eat the ribs. They're good. And look at all. Is that barbecue sauce on there? That sauce. That's a lot of sauce. But there he goes. Just diving right in there. Eating some Kansas barbecue. And this is a phone pic. So this is the TV I had to see those final few laps. You can't see anything on it. This is the most zoomed in my phone would go. Here's some video, picture. This is all phone stuff at this point. There's Zilich, as I mentioned earlier. This is SVG and some of his team members after the race. Some of this video stuff will be posted in the postseason. I need some off-season content, and last year we did a unreleased footage video, and it did pretty well. So we'll do that again. So some of this you'll see then. And then here's all the post-race interviews and stuff. I took these with my phone. Mike was in the A of Kansas. I don't know. There you go. Oh, now you get to see how I edit my pictures, but that's all for picture time. It's time for everyone's favorite part of Mondays. First of all, I hope you guys enjoyed picture time. I really did. Oh no. Come back. Okay. It's time for our Monday picks. It is time for Monday picks. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. We have a triple header at the Roval. How about that? All right. Worst attitude. The ones I talked to, everyone seemed to have it. Like, even Bubba and Denny, like, despite how that race finished for them, they seemed to be in decent spirits. So, no one really. Everyone was pretty good. Pretty fine. But, anywho. Truck Series entry list. Brent Cruz in the 1. I, at the young age of 125 in the 02. We have Connor Zilisch in the 7 truck this week. Yes, that's right. Connor Zilisch back in the Truck Series. Chris Wright in the 16. Neat. Will Rogers is in the 20 truck. We got Mason Maggio in the 33. Frankie Muniz still out. Josh Balicki's in the 41. Derek White's in the 69. Nice. Parker Kligerman's going to be in this race, looking for some redemption after coming so close to the Xfinity race. Corey LaJoie in the 77. Connor Mozak is still in the 81, I guess. But yeah, who's your pick? Xfinity. Or trucks. This is a truck series. Who is your Monday pick for the trucks? Jamie says Heim. David says Connor Zilisch. No question. Wow. David, very confident this week. Not just saying the name, but saying no question. Anyone else? Monday picks for trucks. Zero Apex says Trucks, Heim, Xfinity, Zilisch, Cup, SVG. Zero Apex, I may be copying that. So, all right, yeah, I'm going to go with Heim. I know Zilisch may be a popular pick. I tried that at Watkins Glen. It fell short. But Corey Heim just has the truck dialed in everywhere they go. And the road courses, he's just obliterated the field. So Heim in a truck at a road course, just Corey Heim. It's got to be Corey Heim. So I'm going to go with Corey Heim. NATO YT is also going to go with Corey Heim. Xfinity. Charlotte Roval, right turns. I know my pick already, but we'll still go through the entry list. Alex LeBay in the 07. There you go. Connor Mozak's going to be in the JRM number 9 truck. Daniel Hendrick in the Colleague 11. Corey Day's in the 17. So we got some actually pretty big notable entries this week. Eric Almirola's in the 19. Kaz Gralla is in the 24. So we got some road course ringers in a sense in some of these cars. Austin Hill, not the Austin Hill you're thinking of, is in the 35 car this week. Let's see here. And yeah. All right. Jamie says Zilisch. Zero Apex already said Zilisch. Steve says, don't discount those track level shots. Some of us nerds like to see the style of asphalt to get an idea of grip level and wear rates. Hey, well, there you go. I will throw that in the SVG recap when I edit that here in about 30 minutes. Just for you, Steve. NATO YT says Xfinity is Connor Zilisch, although Sam runs well at the Roval. That's true. David, once again, with the confidence. Connor Zilisch, no question. David, very confident in Connor Zilisch this weekend. Anyone else? Xfinity picks. Yeah, Zilisch. I'm going to go with Zilisch. That's just, yeah. I haven't been posting my Monday picks on the post. I did that for like 3 weeks and then I just forgot to do that. I'm going to do my best to do that this week and then do it for the rest of the week of this year. You want to know odds? I can look up odds. Cup Series entry list, there's only one significant entry. I think it's like the 66 of Josh Bilicki. So look for your favorite driver. Look for what sponsor they're going to have this week as I look up the odds for NATO YT. And yeah. So SVG is plus 120 to win. Second in the odds is plus 800. Wow. That is like F1 odds. Xfinity Series, they don't have it up yet. Truck Series, they don't have it up yet. They only got Cup up on the odds. So everyone get a look at the sponsors. Know what your driver's driving this week. If you're a big Eric Jones fan, Tri-State Vacuum and Rental LLC is on the 43 car. All right. So, yeah, as I said, Josh Bilicki, 66. Let's see it. Cup Series predictions for the Bank of a Roval 400. Wow, right off the bat, we got a wild one. Jamie says, my very controversial Roval pick is Bubba Wallace. William Byron is David's pick. NATO YT says SVG, but it will be tough. We do have a bonus pick after this, by the way. So, everyone make your race win picks, and we got a bonus pick for this race. Anyone else? Monday picks. There's 20 of you out there. There's only been 3 picks. I know you want to make a Monday pick. Come on, make a Monday pick. Who do you think is going to win the Bank of a Roval 400? It's a road course. Right turns. My first 2 picks were like no think, and this is also a no think. So, I guess we'll just jump into it. Shane Van Gisbergen. I'm going with the 3 most boring picks because there's a 99% chance they all win. But Hyman Trucks, Zillich and Xfinity, SVG and Cup. Kiwi Turtle says SVG. Zero Apex says how many drivers will get turned around at turn 8 or pinged for track limits at turn 16? Don't know. Good question. Anthony Denny says coastline only because SVG will let him. Oh, you mean Chastain? Will let him win to advance. Ooh, Anthony. Team orders aren't allowed. Now, if SVG's just sitting in second late in the race and he just decides to not pass him or something, then maybe. But if there's like direct order, like let Chastain by, then yeah, that's not gonna go well. John says Elliott, so back to back for Elliott. Hey, you never know. All right, everyone ready for a bonus Monday pick? Pick your eliminations. Who are the 4 drivers you think get eliminated from the playoffs? Here is the current bubble. You can see it. Ooh, perfect. Who are your 4? Which 4 drivers get eliminated? Let's hear it. Yes, NATO YT. That would be race manipulation, and there would be a massive penalty to Trackhouse if that happened. If there's any race manipulation, NASCAR handled it swiftly last year, as they should have. Applaud them for making that call. But race manipulation, people will get suspended. Teams will be fined. They even adjusted the rule book to say that manufacturers can directly be punished for race manipulation if that comes down to it. Zero Apex says Bubba, Tyler, Austin, Joey. NATO YT says Joey has a bad day and Ross wins, so that would mean the bottom 4 except Chastain flip for Logano. Jamie says the bottom 4 as is, so that would be Chastain, Bubba, Reddick, and Hendrick. Anyone else? Who are your bottom? Who are the 4 to get eliminated? Honestly, Hendrick, like that's an easy one. I don't see him winning, and he mathematically has to win. So Hendrick, sorry, you tried. Bubba has to make up 26 points. He has improved massively on the road courses, but sorry, don't see it happening. Reddick is a wild card because he could win this race, but I don't think he can beat SVG unless SVG has a problem. So that fourth place comes down to Chastain and Logano in my book. I think Briscoe will do good enough to score stage points and pull out of this conversation. Honestly, Chastain's much better at the road courses. Logano, if he doesn't qualify well, I think he's cooked. I'm going to go with Chastain. I think Chastain makes it and eliminates Logano. So, yeah. Weather in Charlotte. That was the buzz of the media center this weekend. There's supposed to be a hurricane hitting the East Coast. And I think like the outer band is actually going to hit Charlotte. Now, I don't think it's going to be like the hurricane winds and stuff. It might be. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. But Charlotte's going to get a lot of rain here in the next week. Or maybe not. I lied. There is a chance of rain on Sunday, but it doesn't look like, hurricane rain at this moment. It could happen. I don't know. There's a chance. It's possible. It's also possible that it doesn't. So, John says Briscoe, Logano, Chastain, Hendrick get eliminated. Jamie says Bubba wins, keeps the win, but disqualified from advancing. Now that would be a storyline. I'm not gonna. Excuse me. I'm not gonna predict that specific. That would Whew. NATO YT says some random strategy wins. All right. Well, I think we had a successful day. We made our Monday picks. We had picture time for the first time in a month. We had some great debates, great topics of discussion. Talked about SVG's first top 10. We talked about Chase Elliott's incredible win. We talked about Toyota choking. We talked about the Bubba Denny incident, if we want to call it that. We've talked about the playoff bubble. We've talked about the Xfinity series. Brandon Jones just randomly owns Kansas in the Xfinity series. But yeah. So I got to get going here. One, I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. Two, I got to edit this SVG recap and get it up for you guys. Once again, always an honor to cover a NASCAR race weekend. So once again, very thankful to Bob, Go Full Throttle Racing. Yeah, hopeful to get to maybe best case scenario would be 2 more races this year. There's a chance I don't go to any more this year. That could have been my last race this year. So, I'm really hopeful to get to 1 or 2 more this year, but if not, I'll be back in 2026, hopefully. So I appreciate you guys all. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything. Appreciate everyone this weekend. Special shout out to Chase Eliason for taking the time to speak to me after the race. Once again, he did not have to do that. So that really meant a lot. Really helped with my story that I wrote on Go Full Throttle. And finally, the poll that we did at the beginning of the stream, 39 votes, 67% of you said that Chase Elliott's 10th to 1st at Kansas was more impressive than Blaney's 13th to 1st at Daytona. So I'm going to go ahead and end that. Kiwi Turtle, appreciate you. NATO YT, thank you. And hey, if you're on holiday right now, I hope you're enjoying that holiday. David, thank you. Your eliminations are Logano, Bubba, Reddick, and Hamlin. Bro, what? Dude, Hamlin's plus 48. If Hamlin gets eliminated, you saw the future or something. Jamie, my 4 to get eliminated were Bubba, Reddick, Hendrick, and Jamie, close your ears for this 4th one, Logano. No, thank you, Zero Apex. Thank you. And a special shout out to Jamie, Mr. Spaceman 360, for contributing to the travel fund. You two are awesome. So thank you again, and I will get